Oh, you haven't? Okay, great.
Hi.
Okay, we should be live now. Hello, guys. Welcome.
Yes,
Yes, welcome to our 4 to
yes,
5 focus. It is, what time is it now? It's 5 p.m. So
fine.
good afternoon. And yes, welcome, guys. So you have probably met all of us by now. We've been doing these webinars for quite a while. But in case you haven't, I guess we can just briefly introduce ourselves. I'm Thiago.
Mhm.
I think you can probably see my name under my picture there. I'm 29. I'm from Brazil originally, but I've also spent some time in California growing up. And so I live in Milan, and I've been living here and working for my English school since 2016. And then joining me
No,
today,
yeah, so I'm Jadene. I'm 25. I am a baby. And I'm from London in England. And I look very, very pale at the moment. Pale is like a skin tone, very white, very lacking in color. Probably because I don't go outside. So I can see myself in this camera and I look very, very pale. But
yeah.
I am not usually this way. Usually I am a little bit browner,
Yes, my
less
flatmate
ill
the
in
other day, I was wearing shorts, and usually like my legs are the last part to kind of turn pale, to turn white, and usually by the time the winter is over, I never really turn that white on my legs, but my legs are so white. I don't think I've ever seen them this white ever because it's just been way too long, like. So I miss the sun. I've even been taking
we
vitamin
need.
D pills.
Oh, that's so
Rough
sad. That breaks
times.
my heart.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
But anyway, so hi
But hey, at least you
Massimo.
should be feeling
I should be what?
hi. Where are you? I said you should at least be a bit happy because isn't vitamin D the vitamin that's supposed to
Yeah,
improve
I
your
guess it,
mood?
yeah, I think so. I haven't been doing too bad actually. I mean, there are some days that I think the quarantine gets to me a bit more. Um, but it's mostly if I stay idle for too long. If I don't do anything, as we were saying before we started this webinar, that's when it gets to me. And it's difficult sometimes to just start an activity. But even if it's just, like sitting down and doing like flashcards or something, I'm learning Dutch at the moment. So sometimes just reviewing the vocab,
Hmm.
it makes me feel better already. But it's really difficult for me to start sometimes. And if I let myself just do nothing and just kind of sit in bed that's when I get a little bit sad. So I just have to force myself
Oh,
sometimes. But yeah.
yes. We need more motivation. Tell us, guys, are you motivated? Have you been motivated to do anything over this quarantine? Have you been cooking or doing a sport? Let us know. Massimo is from near Milan.
Cool, Massimo. Massimo, what school do you attend? Do you go to one of the My English schools in Milan, or do you go to maybe the school in Bergamo, or I think Brescia has a school? So where exactly are you from? Um, oh, you're fine. I can hear your sound perfectly. Oh, great. So
Yes.
Massimo's actually, he goes to Meravigli.
Ah,
Oh,
this is
wait,
our
actually,
school.
yeah, looking at the picture more closely now. Now I remember you, Massimo. Okay. Yeah, sometimes in the picture I can't quite tell. But now that I looked a bit more closely, yeah. So, all right, guys, cool. So, as you can see here from the title, we are talking about home improvement. So, this can be a good word to talk about improvement. So, we do have the verb that you might know, to improve, which means exactly as Jadine just wrote there, to make something better. So a lot of you guys come to my English school because you want to improve your English, right? Doing the webinars is a way to improve your English during the quarantine, for example. An improvement, so when we put that suffix there, meant, it means that it's a noun. So it's not a verb in that case. We're talking about improvements that you can make to your home. So maybe see the more productive of us, not including me, maybe you are using this time to make improvements to your house. So that's what we'll be talking about today. Things that need to be, you need to fix, you need to change, etc. All right. So, Jadene, I would ask you if you could please read the 3 objectives that we have today.
Sure. So in this focus activity, we'll be looking at the present simple, has/have got, and making changes in a home. And also, hi, Olga. Hello, Marcello. Welcome.
Exactly. So we have a few questions just to get us started. So guys, I will read the questions now so you can focus on the pronunciation. And we would really love it if you could answer some of these questions. You don't have to answer all of them. If you prefer, you can choose 1 or 2. But let's just kind of talk, because the more that you participate and the more we can help you specifically, we can give you corrections, etc. Okay, so let's see. Marcello comes from Sicily, but now lives in Legnano. Okay, great, Marcello. Nice to meet you as well. So, question number 1: what rooms have you got in your home? 2: what do you like about your home? 3: what don't you like about your home? And 4: are there any changes you want to make? So I know, Jadene, you recently moved to a new apartment, right?
Yes, I did.
And so what is your new apartment like?
Yeah, so before I answer, I just want to make a comment about the question. So when you ask, what is something like, we're asking for a description. So Thiago is not asking for my preferences, like question 2. What do I like? He's asking for a description about my home. So in my house, we have a kitchen and 2 bedrooms and a hallway. And this is my whole house. Oh, and a bathroom.
I see. So maybe originally they had maybe a living room, but then they turned it into a bedroom.
Exactly.
I see.
So my bedroom, I'm sure, used to be the living room.
I see. Yeah,
Nice.
my previous house was just like that as well. So it was 2
Yeah.
bedrooms because the living room was basically turned into a bedroom. I think in Milan, there is a very large demand for housing. And so many owners, I think, do that. They transform it into bedrooms because then people are more likely to, take it. And people are looking for that. They're looking for rooms where they can have as many people as possible. So, yeah.
Exactly. So what is your house like, Thiago?
So my current house, so where I live now, it has so there is the space where I am now, which is an open plan sort of space in which I have the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room, so all in one. And then I also have a bathroom on this floor. So this is on the upstairs. And then if you go downstairs, which is actually underground, there's a study. It's just kind of like a space where we have a desk, but we just kind of use it to kind of keep things. And then 2 bedrooms and a small bathroom. It doesn't have a shower or anything. It's just like a little bathroom where we have our washing machine as well. So it's a pretty big house, I think, considering it's in Milan. It is, of course, a little bit outside the city center. Okay.
Ooh. So Olga has answered question 1. She says, in my home, I've got a kitchen, a living room. So be careful with the spelling of this word. It's the room where we live, not where we put something and go away. You can also call this a sitting room as well. It means the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bedroom and a bathroom. I see. So do you live alone, Olga? Or do you have roommates or housemates? And Massimo answers question 2. I like my couch because today I'm a little lazy.
Good,
Nice.
nice, nicely done. And I think couch is mostly an American word, isn't it, Jadine? Would you say couch?
No, we say couch, yeah.
Oh, you do say couch. Oh, okay. For some reason, I was under the impression that in the UK, sofa was actually more common.
Sorry, I've written coach. Honestly, I would say that you can say either.
I see. Okay.
It depends. Marcello also says, my house is small. There are 6 rooms. There are 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room. There isn't a garden, but there are 2 balconies. You think
Oh,
this house is
yeah, I
small?
don't think it's small at all. I guess it depends on your
Oh my
city,
goodness.
perhaps. Because he lives in
It's true.
Legnano, so maybe
Marcello
because it's
lives
a
in a,
smaller place, it's considered small.
no way.
But in
This is a
Milan, that is
mansion.
gigantic. Yes.
Are you a celebrity, Marcello? Are you a millionaire? Tell me. Who has a house like this? And Olga also has a balcony. Lucky.
Great. Ah, okay. And
Ah,
she
okay.
lives with her boyfriend. Good. Yeah. And so, Jadine, what do you like most about your home, and what don't you like about your home?
Hmm. The thing I like most about my home is that I have space. Because before, when I first moved to Milan, I was living with my friend's family, so sharing a room and all the space.
I see.
So I like that I have space here. And what I don't like, probably I wish there was a balcony, especially because it's so warm now and we've been stuck inside for so long. It would be so nice if there was a balcony. But outside of quarantine, I live very close to a park. So maybe it wouldn't usually be a problem.
Perfect. So yeah, guys, if you want, you can, if you would like to answer any other questions, go ahead. We usually have a little bit of a delay. So after you send your comment, it can even take 1 minute for us to receive it. So keep writing, all right? Even if we change the slides, we'll get to them. I see, Matt. So for me, it's small because my house in Sicily is very big. Aha, okay. And he corrected himself. Great, great, great.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I remember, yeah, when I lived in Sicily, there were many more houses in general. Here in Milan, I notice almost everybody lives in apartments, so buildings,
Mm.
not a lot of
You
houses.
live in you live in Sicily?
Yes, I spent 4 summers working there. It's kind of just like a
Wow,
seasonal job that I had at a hostel. So yeah, I lived there for a bit.
I see. Nice. And Olga says, "I love my bed and pillow." Yes,
Everyone's feeling a
I,
little
I,
lazy today. Cool. All right, guys. So we're just going to move on so we can look at some vocabulary. But again, if you are writing an answer, just keep going, all right? Do not delete. Just send it to us. We'll get to it. So if we're looking at the exterior of a house, so the outside, here we have some vocabulary that if you guys could match, that would be great. In the meantime, Jadine, if you want to read the list here.
sure. So we have roof, windows, stairs, garden, door, and balcony. And be a bit careful because I'm trying to work it out in my head, but roof and door both have two O's, but do you pronounce them the same?
No,
I want to
definitely not.
say no, yes. I'm trying to say
Oh, roof, door. Oh, yeah.
so be careful with that.
Yeah, it's a good point because a lot of the times I think the double O has more of an oo sound, right? Like Google,
Yeah,
roof,
yeah, more like roof.
blue. But then, yeah, we have plenty of exceptions. Yeah, like door. We also have, like, if we're talking about blood, that's another pronunciation yet. So
It's true. Oh, and well done. So the guys have
great.
started giving us
Okay.
some
Yeah. So
answers.
A, Olga gave
So
us
they
A. That's the roof. Very nice.
exactly.
B, balcony, Marcello, and yeah, balcony. That's fantastic. C, we have a garden, right? Which I also tend to call more of a yard, personally, if I'm talking about a
I
house.
think so.
I
That's
say,
more American,
yeah, it's more
definitely.
American. We say the front yard and the backyard. For me, when I think of garden, it's more of the place where maybe you would plant things. You might even have like a vegetable garden or something. I usually think of that as a garden. And yard is more of like the space, like the where you have the lawn. It's the yeah. Let's see. D, we have that as well. Yeah, the stairs. Very good. E, the windows. And F, the door. Nicely done, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just want to say one thing. So you can see, guys, this is exterior, which means outside. And the roof is the bit on top of your house that is outside. Inside your house, if you look up, this is called the ceiling. So it's a bit different. Oh, and Olga has just put, and now you have to ask what is the name of the roof inside the house.
Oh, wow.
Did
Okay.
you know this, Olga?
Maybe she has done this
Did you
activity
know
before. Yeah. Exactly. Perfect.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, perfect, guys. Again, any other questions, just let us know. So here we can look at some improvements that these houses might need. So as we said before, an improvement, this is the noun, something that needs to be done to make it better. So this house is a complete disaster, as we can see here. So what kind of improvements does it need? What do you think?
Maybe a few.
Yeah.
maybe a
There's
couple.
a couple little things, just some final touches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Just
say these are
some paint.
ruins, basically.
Yeah, I guess being Italian, if you are all Italian, I think today they all are. Um, yeah, ruins. I think you're familiar with these. Any kind of ancient part of town, usually ruins are thousands and thousands of years old. But we
Yeah.
can say this house is in ruins just when something looks completely destroyed.
Yeah, I noticed that in the countryside here in Italy, I see quite a few of these, like similar houses to that, kind of like in ruins.
Really?
Yeah, just like
Why?
randomly located in the middle of a field. I don't know if in the past they were used for something. But yeah, especially, I used to live in Crema before, and if you were to if you travel from Crema to Milan, you see quite a few of them.
Okay. So Olga says the important thing, don't forget thing, the important thing is to paint the door.
Yeah, first we need to add one.
This is true. I think maybe first make the door, then paint the door. So to paint is to change the color
Yeah.
of something using a material we call paint. Um, Marcello says, this house has a need of a roof, a door, exactly, and maybe some more things.
Yeah, and you can even say
Okay,
Marcello. You can use need as a verb directly. So you can even say this house needs a roof or a door. Or you could even say this house is in need of, I would say. So to be in need of, if you want. But needs is perfectly fine. I think that's the most common.
yes, and also of windows, just be careful because when we say anything in plural, we don't need the article a. A just means one. So if it's plural, just windows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so these are just some of the things. And what about, so I don't think anyone has mentioned this yet. So yes, we need to install a door here, for example. But before we install the door, we need to continue this empty space here. Because here we have this thing, but not here. What do we call this? It's basically the basic structure of the house on the sides. I can just give it to you guys. So we call that a wall. So it also needs a wall. Okay, let's look at the. Oh, okay. So that was just the one then. Okay, I guess we'll have some more later. No, I thought there were, for some reason I remember there being like a couple different pictures. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys are writing anything, again, keep going. But we're gonna move on inside the house now. We're gonna be looking at mostly furniture. So we have different pieces of furniture here. So let us know what they're called. And Jadene, do you want to read these again?
Yeah, sure. Marcello has just said maybe it's. Remember, we still need the subject. So it is, I would say, better to build a new house. Yeah, it's true.
It might be
Maybe just
faster, yeah.
remove the old house and just start again. So interior. So this is the things inside. We have desk, sofa, table, chair, bathtub, and fireplace.
Exactly. You know, I'm
So
just
tell us
thinking
as
now, I know
well.
one thing that many foreigners find kind of like fascinating and strange about houses in the US is that they are mostly made
Oh,
of wood. And when
sure.
you want to build a house, a lot of the times the walls, they come already made, already cut. And so you just have to put it together. And so it's quite strange. Instead of building it slowly, you just kind of put the pieces, you know? It's like a puzzle. And that's how you make a house.
It's very fast. Very,
Yeah,
very
it's
fast.
very fast.
But
Yeah, but
probably
then it's quite can be dangerous as well. I mean, a big concern in the US is
yeah.
fire, because one small fire and your entire house can be gone. So
Mm. But maybe it's not. You can build the house and then slowly, one wall at a time, just put the bricks in.
yeah, I suppose. One thing though, I remember I hated about my house, and so many houses in general in the States have this problem, is because it's made of wood. Once you go upstairs, and if the house is a little bit older, it makes so much noise to walk. You know, it creaks a lot.
Ah.
And then you have to constantly keep, maintaining, but then it's very expensive. A lot of people don't do it, and so it's just like a very noisy experience in general. That's something in Italy it never happens.
One thing that I think people find funny about in the UK um, is that so in the sink or in the bathtub, which we'll get to, the thing you use to start the flow of water. In the UK, we call it a tap. In America, they call it a faucet.
Mm-hmm.
But in most places, you just have one tap for the hot and cold water to come out of together. But in the UK, we have one for hot and one for cold.
Gosh,
So
that
if you
is
want to,
terrible.
if you want to wash your hands, you have to just kind
Yeah,
of
you have
go
to
in
like
between
choose
both.
one. Do I burn myself or do I freeze? Or like you have to just, I guess,
Yeah, and
fill
it's
the
always
sink with it.
really hot and really cold. It's horrible.
But is this something that was
I
more
don't know
common in
why.
the past? Do you think like new houses, are they done with just one system now?
Yeah, new houses, and there are a lot of new houses are done definitely with a new system, but we still have lots and lots of old houses, and old buildings, old schools that they always just have this, this thing.
Oh gosh.
Okay,
All right, so
so
let's
we
have a
have
look here.
some.
Yeah, I think you guys are all
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, looks like it. So
done.
perfect. Oh wait, in Italy it's called condono. What exactly, Massimo? I don't remember what I was talking about. Condono. Wait, let me just
Maybe a
quickly.
wooden house.
Like a wooden house. Okay. Yeah, I'm like looking it
Interesting.
up. No, it looks like it's some kind of like legal. So within the legal profession, it's a defense argument made with an accuser previously. Yeah, let me know, Massimo. I'm kind of confused what you mean. Can you give a little more context? What is a condono? I'm curious. Okay, so yes, a sofa, or as we said before, this can also be called a couch. For me, sofa just sounds fancy. It's elegant, a sofa. A couch, I don't know, it's like something comfortable. I don't know. Yeah, this I would say, yeah, it's a sofa. See, it's really pretty, modern. Behind me, I have a couch. But yeah, it's the same thing. Then we have a desk, a chair, table, bathtub, which can also be just called a bath, and the
Yeah,
fireplace.
excellent. Well done, guys.
Yeah. One thing I would mention, because it's similar to an Italian word actually. So this right here that you see on F, this is the fireplace. But if we go back to the previous picture, see, so usually you have the fireplace, and then you have this structure that takes the smoke up, right? And or where like this is where Santa Claus goes down. We call this the chimney. Because in Italian it's camino. That's what a fireplace is called, and so it's quite similar. But in English, a chimney is the actual like that tunnel sort of structure that goes all the way up. Whereas the place where you put the fire, that you can have also inside your house, that's the fireplace. That's the basic difference between them. Okay. So, in your homes, in your apartments, guys, what furniture have you got? And feel free to also give us other furniture. These are really basic ones, but if you know other words, you guys seem like a really strong group from your participation. So feel free to give us other examples or ask questions if you want to mention something else. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, for instance, Jadine, in your apartment, do you have enough furniture? Do you think? And is there anything missing that you
Uh,
wish you had?
hmm. Maybe maybe I'd like to have a desk.
Hmm.
Um, because at the moment I don't have a desk. I just have a chest of drawers, which is not the same.
That's what you're
So a
using
chest
now.
of yeah, a chest of drawers or just drawers um, are the things that you can pull out to put clothes or other things. Um, Slightly different to a wardrobe where you would hang clothes. Um, but otherwise, I think that I have everything. Maybe I don't know if we have air conditioning. I've heard this can be a problem in
Uh,
the summer.
Yeah, I think most
I'm a bit
houses here
scared.
don't have. Yeah, I was lucky. The first house I lived in here in Milan, I had an air conditioning. Um, but yeah, it does get pretty tough in the summer. I am lucky because
But
my bedroom, as I said, is underground. So
ah,
it's quite cold in the winter, but it's pretty nice in the summer because all I need is a small fan and I'm pretty comfortable down there.
I see. But the ceilings are really, really high um, in Italy. In again at the home in the UK, ceilings are never this high. But it's to help the heat kind of circulate and be
Hmm.
absorbed into the walls instead of just staying. So hopefully we will survive. I don't know. Um, Massimo says it was a joke, but it's hard for me to explain in English. This is a
Ah,
terrible
okay.
answer. Now we want,
I will
so
I
you have to
will
try.
search this on Google later, Massimo. I'm gonna write this down. Condono. Where is it? Yeah, condono. All right. I'll look it up and then I'll ask you when once we're back in school. I will remember. Um, cool. Yeah, so let us know, guys, the furniture that you have. And then also, but another thing I guess we can mention here. So in this question, we see the question, what furniture have you got? And another possibility is we can also ask, what furniture do you have? So when you're talking about possession, you can say, I have or I have got. Okay, you do have both possibilities. Let's see. Marcello is saying, in my house also there. Oh, or there are. That's another possibility. Great job. In my house also there are two armchairs and two wardrobes. All right. In Marcello's small house, he's got two armchairs, two wardrobes.
A swimming pool, a gym,
Home theater.
just a little house.
So great. Yeah, I would say that in my house here, I agree with you, Jadine, what you said before. I think the thing that I miss the most is a balcony as well. I don't have a balcony. Also, because if we had a balcony, it would be on the sidewalk, it would be right outside. So it's impossible. Okay, guys, so while we wait for your answers, we have Olga here who also just sent us a comment. So I have got 4 chairs. How many chairs have you guys got? Or have you got, guys? That's good. Now I have got, so see, upstairs I've got 4 chairs. And then downstairs I've got one more chair, which we have for the desk. So I've got a total of 5 chairs in my house. What about you, Jadine? How many chairs have
Mm.
you got?
I think the same. There are 4 chairs in the kitchen, and also one extra chair. But I don't know why. We just have an extra chair. Um, but then we also have 2 sofas. So I count a sofa as a chair. A sitting space. So 5 chairs and 2 sofas. And
Cool.
Marcello is laughing, probably at how small our houses are. Yeah, ha ha ha. Only 4 chairs.
All right. So, all right, guys. So here we can see some of the changes we've been talking about improvement, and so we can use some verbs here. So, for instance, I'll give Jadine a problem, okay, and then she's gonna read the possible suggestion that you can give. You guys suggest a verb that we can use in this blank space here, okay? So, Jadine, my son is 19 now, and he doesn't like his bedroom furniture.
Hmm. Why don't you the furniture?
Exactly. So, what can we do about furniture, guys? Now, the other problem is that I haven't got enough rooms in my house.
Why don't you a new room?
Okay. I hate this color of our bedroom.
Why don't you eat the walls?
Exactly. And my last problem is the bathtub is old and cracked.
Why don't you eat a new one? Oh, in a new one. Excuse me. And also, what does cracked mean? Just while we're waiting to see if anyone
Sure.
replies.
So yeah, so cracked, guys. So in this case of the bathtub, it means it's not broken really, but it's starting. So the surface has started to. You can see the lines on it. So it's like almost like starting to break away, but not quite there yet. You can also use the same thing for glass. So you can of course break the glass, or you can crack it. Sometimes if a rock hits the glass but it's not too hard, it will crack but not break. If you drop your phone, that's a common one. You drop your phone,
Yeah.
the screen can crack. Let's see, Massimo saying, so why don't you change the furniture? Yeah, I believe you're right. And they're actually even giving us the verbs. Okay, cool. You guys did a good job on your own. Why don't you change the furniture? Fantastic. Perfect.
Okay, so then we have paint, build, and put. And put is quite a funny word because it's one of those words in English that we use a lot and often has different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
change for the first one. Massimo and Michele say, why don't you build a new room? Exactly. So to build something is to construct something, to make something from nothing. Then number 3, Massimo says, why don't you paint the walls? Exactly. So paint is a verb, to paint, but paint is also the noun of the thing you use to paint that you can see in the picture.
Yeah.
So the red is paint.
Exactly. And then, of course, we're left with the last one, which in this case, it would go with the preposition in, especially. To put in would be to install. In this case, why don't you install? Why don't you add? Why don't you put in a new one? All right. So good job, guys. Thanks for telling us. So here we have some different ways that we can give suggestions. So so build, Olga, it means basically to construct. I know that one is similar to Italian. Construct, build. So if you just go back to that other example, then again, right? So we're saying that, oops, I haven't got enough rooms. So basically the problem is that this person thinks their house is too small. And so the suggestion is to construct, so to build a new room. All right. And then as you can see here, you should, this is the most common way of giving a suggestion. You should, you should, you should. But we also have another one that we see here is, and it should be actually a question. So it's best to finish it with a question mark. Why don't you, and then the verb. Okay, so it is a question, but it's actually a suggestion. Okay, you should or why don't you? And then you can give suggestions about different things, not just for houses. So here, for example, so JD, now do you want to tell me your problems and I'll give you a possible solution?
Okay, so I've got an old-fashioned living room. It's not
Uh,
stylish.
exactly. So you should change the sofa and curtains.
Okay. I've got a horrible bathroom.
Well, why don't you put in a new sink that will make it look nicer?
Okay, I've got an ugly bedroom.
You should paint the walls.
Okay, and I've got an empty garden.
In that case, you should plant some flowers.
Okay, so plant is also an interesting word because the verb is to plant, so to put flowers or seeds into soil. Um, but also a plant is a type of uh, green thing that you can have, usually without flowers, but sometimes with flowers, but with a lot of leaves.
Exactly. So what we can do here, guys, to practice, it would be great if you could use these expressions. So you should, or why don't you? I guess, all right, we can do a few different things here. Maybe Jadene and I, we can tell you guys some of the things that we don't like so much about our houses. And then you guys give us some suggestions. So what can we do to make our houses better? So I'll give you some examples. So I do like my apartment. It's quite big, so this is the thing that I like the most about it. But one thing I don't like about my apartment, as you can see a little bit behind me, there is too much orange in the living room. So the kitchen is orange, the table is orange, the couch is orange, and so it's just not a relaxing color. So too much orange. I don't like that. Also, I don't have any space to go outside, and I don't like that. And downstairs, it gets really cold in the winter because it is underground. So what are some things I can do to make my house better? So I'm
Bye,
also gonna,
Massimo. Thank you for coming.
bye Massimo, thanks for all the contribution. Yeah, there really is so much orange around here. It's crazy.
Was your house already furnished, or did
Yeah,
you
it's already
furnish it
it
with
was
your?
already furnished, yeah. But I just don't know, like, why would they buy everything? Or I mean, it's clearly like all part of like the same. So they must have just bought like just like everything, like a standard sort of. But gosh, way
Maybe it
too
was.
much.
Maybe it was all bought in the 70s when it was really in fashion.
It could
Orange.
be. I don't know. Yeah. So I wouldn't even know how old this furniture is.
Does it look modern or old-fashioned?
It is like fairly modern, I suppose. Not super modern. I guess the couch is the oldest one. It's kind of like a leather couch sort of thing. That one's a bit more old-fashioned, I suppose. But yeah, the rest of the furniture, the cabinets, and
Yeah.
yeah, but even the fridge, has this like orange door to it.
Interesting. Oh, I need to stretch. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of advice. Thiago.
Mm-hmm.
If your house is too orange, why don't you buy some blankets or covers to put over the sofa in a different color?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And if it's too cold in the winter, you should buy a mini heater. Or you should use the covers from the sofa.
To cover myself.
So see, the covers are excellent. You have a dual use, two uses. Why does he call me JD? My name is Jadene. Sometimes you don't hear the N, so it sounds very similar.
JD sounds cool though.
No,
It's
no.
actually funny though, because
And
at
also
school,
remember,
recently they not that recent, but I think in the last year or so, I noticed that everyone started calling me T, and everyone like, hey T, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just I'll take that. And I wasn't sure why, but then I realized that it's because I had changed my WhatsApp from Thiago. I had just put the T in it. And so I guess everyone getting messages from me would say, T sent you a message, T sent you a message. And so everyone just calls me
yeah,
T now.
yeah, the power of social media. Olga now wants to be called OG.
Oh.
We can do it. Olga, don't
OG is a
worry.
really
Or
funny
OG.
one,
Sorry,
Olga.
sorry.
OG. OG, it means original gangster. And so it's an actual expression that people use. OG. That's really funny.
She's the original Olga. Okay, so maybe we should just do a summary then, because I know we're coming up to the end of the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been great.
Yeah. So guys, let's just look at this vocab one more time. Okay, just actually before we look at the vocab, I do want to point out to something Jadene mentioned before, which is quite important. If you're asking a question with like, but we're using auxiliary do, so what do you like? We're asking about your preferences. But if instead of do here, I use verb to be, so for example, what are you like, or what is your house like? We're asking about characteristics. We're usually looking for adjectives. Here we have some vocabulary to describe the exterior. And as Olga mentioned / asked before as well, so we have the roof here, and that's on the outside, the exterior. On the inside, we would have the ceiling. We talked about some of the furniture that you find inside the house, which you can see over here. Besides sofa, we could also call it a couch. The fireplace is this part here on the inside, but you could also have the chimney, which is the part that takes the smoke, takes it outside your house. We saw some verbs that we use when we're talking about improving a home. And notice how we can use paint as a verb, but we can also use paint as a noun. So this is red paint, for example. And the same thing for plant. You can use plant as a verb, but also plant is the thing that you, like a green, like a little tree sort of, but not really a tree, but a plant.
No,
Similar,
true.
similar in
Like a
Italian. You
tree.
guys get
Like
it.
a tree.
Yeah. So I guess that's mostly it. Jadene, anything you would like to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that you summarized that all very nicely.
Okay.
Oh, and we also looked at the ways to give advice. So you
That's
can say
right.
you
Yeah.
should and a suggestion, and also why don't you and a suggestion.
All right, guys. So really,
But they're both
thank you
always
all.
followed with.
Oh, sorry. Thank you guys for
No, okay.
for your contributions, your comments, good questions. Really nice group today. Have a nice weekend. If I don't see you, I don't think I'm doing any other 4 to 5s this week, but I hope to see you guys again soon.
Yes. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.